Hi, is everyone coping all right? I hope so. Well, we know now that it's either going to be a couple of weeks or a month or whatever until we're free from this self-imposed jail cell. I know some of you are getting a little bit frustrated. Uh, so I'm trying to do my best to help you cope with this. Today we're going to be talking about knives. I get a lot of questions about it. You know, what knives should I get? Should I get a set? Should I get one of these blocks that you put on the counter? And basically there are three knives that one should have. And one is a nice paring knife. The other is an oriental like this, which you can cut vegetables with, which is what you do most of the time. And the reason is that here it is thinner than a chef's knife. A chef's knife, once you chop a little bit, you start to get tired, where with this you won't get as tired. And then what I recommend is a 14-inch slicer, because with a 14-inch slicer like this, if you were doing sheet cakes, this will slice them. If you're doing bread, this will slice them. And so these are just the three knives. Now the sets that you get in blocks, they look nice, but every time you put a knife back in there, if it isn't completely clean, bacteria is going to build up in that block, and that's not too good. Now the other thing would be to have a steel. And this is a knife sharpener, which is called a steel. And you want to wash this as well as your knife before you sharpen it. Never sharpen a dirty knife. The reason being is that the little micro grooves on this steel are going to fill in with the fat or whatever is on the blade of the knife. And then eventually it will not sharpen. If that does happen, you take this and put it in a great big pot of hot water and boil it for 2 hours. And at the end of that, you will have oil on the surface, and at the bottom of the pot, you'll have all these metal filings that were caught up in it. Now, to sharpen, you want to take this in one hand. Now, I like to move my thumb to one side, and the reason for this is that if I'm sharpening this way and I happen to slip, I can hit my thumb, or if it's tucked away, it won't. I like to turn my knives around this way and hold the knife at a 35-degree angle between the knife and the steel. And if you happen to have a set of match books around, lay that on there. That is what the angle would be. And so it's a matter of counting when you sharpen. So if this is 1, then you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I started on an odd number. I want to end on an even number. If you end on an odd number, the knife will not cut because it will have a piece of steel wire on the edge to keep it from cutting. So we just do it like this, and that's fine. You can wipe it when you're through, and then it will sharp, and you want it as sharp enough so you can take a piece of paper and slice. And here it's the same thing with a paring knife. That's a sharp knife. Well, I hope this helped you out. Now, go and check how many knives you have, which is probably quite a few. I know Jacques Pepin was asked one time how many knives he had, and he said, oh, around 200. So one day I decided to sharpen and clean all of my knives up, and I counted them, and I have a couple more than Jacques Pepin. So look around, sharpen them up. There's nothing like working with a great knife. So, skål.